Hi guys, how are you all doing today? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to cut and sew this beautiful sleeveless t-shirt crop top. Okay, so keep watching, and if you don't subscribe, please do well to subscribe, like, share and comment. Here, this is just a small piece of fabric that I have. I'm going to use it to make this beautiful shirt. I'm going to fold by 2 like so, and I'm going to divide my bust circumference by 4 plus 4.5 inches seam allowance. That's what I have for the wideness, and the length is 21 inches. That's the length of this crop top, and that's the length of the material that I have there. So okay, so I'm going to mark my starting point now, and then I'll go in by 3 inches. If you go in by 3 inches, then you're going to have 1.5 inch remaining out of your 4.5 inch allowance that you have. So that 3 inches that I just went in is for the shirt. That's the placket. That's where your button is going to be. That's the button allowance. Okay, so over here is my starting point, and here is the 3 inches for the button allowance. I'm going to go in by 3 inches from the button allowance line for the wideness of my neck. That's the neck width. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder circumference divided by 2, which is 8 from the button allowance line, and I added ½ inch for seam allowance. Then, keeping my tape on a straight line, I'm going to mark my bust point, my chest point and my waist point, and I'm going to mark it on the other side for correct this thing, to make it correct line. So I'm going to connect the lines together like so. So I'm going to mark my armhole line down to the chest line. That's the armhole line that I'm marking, 8.5. Take it all the way to the chest line. Then I am going to make sure they are correct. Next thing I'm going to do right now is to come down by 1 inch from the shoulder point like so. Then from that 3 inches I'll connect it to the 1 inch, making it a shoulder slope. That's my shoulder slope that I just made. So I'm going to divide what I have by 2, and I'm going to mark my armhole curve. Just come in a little bit and curve it a little. Divide my bust point by 4. My bust point divide by 4. I'm going to mark it down, plus 1.5 inch allowance that is remaining. 1.5 inch allowance. Then I'm going to curve it. I'm going to put the same measurement on my bust point. My bust point divided by 4 plus 2, 1.5 inch allowance. Then my waist point divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch allowance as well. So I'm going to connect it like so and curve my armhole like so, and that is it for the shirt. I don't think there is any other thing. So we are going to be cutting, because we are going to use this front piece. I'll take it down. I'm using the whole length of the material, so I'm going to cut it out right now. Because I'm going to use this front piece to cut the back piece. Take a look at how I'm going to use it to cut the back piece. So the length of this shirt now is 21 inches. If you are on the slimmer side, you make yours 16. Okay, if you are slim, make it 16-17 inches. Okay, because I'm on the bigger side, that's why I'm making it 18. So see how I take in that 3 inches, I took it inside like so. So this is my actual basic body. Okay, so I'm going to fold the back piece like so. It's not going to be much because I don't have any 3 inches allowance there. So here I'm going to place it on top of the other piece like so. Remember, we took in the 3 inches inside. So I am going to cut it out using this same measurement with the front piece, except the 3 inches that we took in. So now after cutting out, I will mark the neckline. So now we're going to mark the neck depth. So I am going to come down by 1 inch by 3 inches for the front neckline. Okay, for the front neck depth, we have, remember, we have wideness of 3 inches. So I came down by 3 inches for the front neck depth and 1 inch for the back neck depth. I'm marking everything in the front piece because we are going to first of all cut the back using the front piece, then back neck depth, then we cut the front neck depth. Only the front. To see, I raised it up. I raised up the front piece and cut the front back neck depth. So here we are done with the cutting of this beautiful piece. We are going to open the front piece. The front piece is going to be shed, so it's going to be open. I'm going to slit it open. I'm going to open it up like so. Now this is it. Okay, so we have opened the front piece, and then I'm going to show you how to fold it in. This is how we're going to fold it to make our bottom placket. Okay, to make our bottom placket, this is how we're going to fold it on top of the line. Pin it up and sew a straight line on each of them. Sew a straight line on them, and this is what we have after sewing a straight line on the bottom placket. This is what we have. So that's the back piece, and what I have on top of it is the two front pieces. Okay, so I've finished sewing on the bottom placket, and this is what we have. I'm trying to make it for you guys. I'm trying to turn it over so you guys can see what I have here. So next thing is to join the two shoulders together, of which I have already done. Joining the two shoulders with 1/2 inch. So next thing I'm going to do is and I will use my tape to measure around my neckline. That's the neck of the shirt. What I have here is 19 inches. I am going to make the shirt collar. Okay, so I'm going to fold in by 2 like so, exactly how I'm going to do in the video. That's how you're going to do it. I'm going to come down by, the wideness is 20 inches. That's the length, wideness of the collar, and the length is 3 inches. So I'm going to come down by 3 inches as the wideness. Okay, the length is 20 inches. So I'm going to come down by 3 inches. Then I'm going to cut out the excesses right now. Remember, we are aiming at 19 inches. Okay, so we are going to make the downside 19 inches. This is the easiest collar. This one is not a proper shirt collar. This is just a design shirt collar design. Let me call it collar design. So we are aiming at 19 inches. Since we have 20 inches, I have to remove 1/2 inch on both sides, making it removal of 1 inch. So it's now slanted in shape, and now sew on each side of the slanted shape. After folding it, now I left 1/2 inch on the downside for joining of the collar. Okay, so now I'm folding it back to the right side, and this is what we have. So now it's time to attach it to the shirt. So you see the kind of collar we just made. We did not make the proper shirt collar, we just made the design collar design. So now I have my collar here. I am going to attach it to the main dress right now. So I'm going to open half of it. Remember, we left 1/2 inch where we were slanting, covering the slanted shape. So I'm going to pin it all the way around. I'm going to pin it, and I will sew like that, following the way I pinned it. I'm going to sew on top of it like that. Okay, just watch how I pinned it. I'm going to sew on top of it like that. Hey guys, so I just finished sewing, and you can see how I ran my thread. So I'm going to close it up with the other side of the collar. Okay, you see how I ran my thread. I'm going to close it up like so with 1/2 inch again. See how I'm going to close it up like so. Watch how I'm going to close it up. Make sure it is properly closed up like so, and you're going to sew on it all the way to the other side. Okay, and then iron it properly, then get back to me. As you are done doing so. Okay, so at this point we are done closing it up. This is what we have after closing it up. I'm using the back because this material is black. You cannot see the stitch, how I ran my stitch. So as you can see, I'm done closing it up. See how neatly it looks. So now we are going to shape the sleeve. It's a sleeveless shirt, so it's a sleeveless shirt. I'm going to shape the sleeve, the two sides, making sure that my back, that's the shoulder, is 16 inches. Okay, that is what we call it, is round up check on the dress that we are making sure that we have the correct measurement on each side of it, cutting up the cuttables, making sure there is no excesses. And then I'm going to open up the shirt and I will fold it in like so. Because it's a sleeveless shirt, I'm going to fold it in like so. Okay, and I'm going to sew on top of it as I fold like so. So on top of it like this. I'll do this on the other side and then hem the down part of the shirt. Okay, and here, ta-da, I am done joining the sleeves and the downside. As you can see, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. It came out so beautiful, it came out so neat, very demure. Okay, now we are going to close it up. The two sides of the shirt, we are going to close it up with half an inch. Remember, we are going to still have an allowance. We have 1.5 inch allowance remaining, right? So we are going to use half inch out of the 1.5 inch to close it up, and we are going to leave 1 inch, okay, for the allowance. Okay, so that's what we are going to do here. All right, so after closing up, this is what we have. We are going to put the button allowance and the button mark here, 3 inches. We're going to be jumping by 3 inches. So now this is how I am going to put my button points. Okay, so I'm going to put one. I'm going to close it up well so that you guys will see my button points. Okay, I'm going to come down by 3 inches mark. I'm not going to put button there. I don't like putting button there because it's mine. I'm not going to put button there. So I'm going to put button that place, the second place I marked. 3 inches gap, 3 inches gap. Okay, so in just 3 places that I'm going to be putting button, the other places is going to be open like this. That's how I like to do my stuff. Okay, so there is a total waste to put button there when I'm wearing it, unless, I don't know for you, but for me, I'm just going to be putting button on just the 3 places. Okay, so now watch how I am going to attach my button. So I'm going to use that place that I marked to point out the other place. Just watch. I don't know the English I'm going to speak here. So I used it to point, to open up the point for the other side. Okay, so you see they are on the same point. So now I am going to attach my button like this. This is how I'm going to attach my button. So I will sew on it like so. This is how I'm going to attach the button to the hole, then open up. I will use razor to open up the other side of the buttonhole. That's the buttonhole. I'm going to open it up, the other place that I marked chalk. Okay, and I'm going to open up these places now that I'm pointing at with my razor, and I will close it up with my stitch for the buttonhole. Then I will show you what it looks like at the end of the day. So guys, this is what it looks like at the end of the day. It came out so neat, beautiful after I've ironed it. Okay, I finished ironing it, and this is how it came out. Beautiful, eloquent, nice, gorgeous. Okay, so now this is how to make a sleeveless shirt, crop top shirt. You can use this style to make your own shirt, your own long shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, just attach the sleeve. That's just it. Just normal stuff. Okay, so if you want to make a shirt, this is how to make a shirt. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye.